Thanks so much for making the time and taking the time to listen in, as I believe people's stories make a difference if we will just listen and learn, unlearn what we thought was right to relearn what is right. We can certainly accomplish more by being together. So you are listening to Jay Fuller Interviews on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Jay Fuller Interviews, and now the Backfire Podcast with Jeff Fuller of Jay Fuller Interviews on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And one with a tremendous story is the one, the only, the Success Chronicles himself, Mr. Chip Baker. Chip, welcome in.
Hello, hello. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And I've heard a lot about you from Tammy Matheny and Chaz Jackson. You come very highly recommended. How does that make you feel to know that you've made an impact on people's lives?
I think it's a true blessing. People don't have to say nice things about you. People don't have to think highly of you. And to have people, especially of that caliber, I think very highly of them, to recommend me. I think it's an honor and a privilege.
Now, Chip, for yourself, behind me, there's a picture of your latest book, The Impact of Influence. Can you just share a little bit about how that all culminated and came together?
Yeah. So, along my journey, I've done the Success Chronicles. I started that a little over 4 years ago, where I interview people from all walks of life and share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation. And I had one of the guys that I'm connected with does publishing, and he reached out to me. He's like, man, you're connected with some great people. You ever thought about, bringing some of those people together and, putting a book together? I was like, that's a great idea. And so, it's crazy. It all happened so fast. Within a day, we had the cover. Within like a week and a half, had all the authors. Everybody that I reached out to, called or text, they didn't even let me finish. They were like, "Yes, let's go, let's do it," right? And it's been a great journey. We dropped it in March, and so it's been really neat. It's hit, when we dropped the ebook, it hit #1 bestseller in 11 categories on Amazon. And so it's been cool, to connect with the brothers. There's 17 guys in there, all doing amazing things. And so, it's been a great journey. We've been interviewing, we've been doing book tours. So it's been really cool.
Well, congratulations on that. This is Chip Baker on Instagram. It's Chip Baker TSC for the Success Chronicles. You have a catchphrase, motto, and it's on your hat, it's on your shirt right here. It says, "Go get it." Where does that come from?
Go get it, baby. For me, I feel that no significant success will just come to you, right? I think you have to go make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the go get it comes from. We all have those the self-talk, I'm big on positive self-talk.
Yeah.
And being an educator, a teacher, former coach, I always strive to push myself to be the best version of myself. And there are things that, along my life, there are things that I would say to myself to help, to continue to push myself. And go get it was one of those things, right? Let's go, man. Let's go get it, right? And before I knew it, it started coming out. So like I would say it to other people, "Hey, let's go get it."
Yeah.
And then people started saying it back to me, I guess because I was saying it so much. And then now, it's a thing. Like man, go get it.
That's good. Chip, where did you grow up?
So I'm from, picture this, Sicily. No, I was born in Dallas, Texas. Parents separated when I was 4. We moved to my mother's hometown of Hearne, Texas, which is close to Bryan College Station, Texas A&M University.
Okay, yeah.
So I grew up in that area. Great family. I'm a 4th generation educator. My family's church folk and educators. That's folk with no S. So you really know, we've been in church a lot, right? and the reason for that is my mother, she was the minister of music in the churches that I grew up in. So, if there was something going on at the church, she had to be there. So, I tell people, we would be in church from can till can't. And so, but that was a true blessing on my life too. It's taught me so many great things. It's helped me have a firm foundation in faith, and be the person that I am today.
So, Chip, having parents that were divorced, was your father involved in your life? Where did you fill that void? Was it somebody from church or a coach growing up?
And I'm glad you asked that, because I wanted to make sure. So a lot of times you hear, parents are divorced, like that, deadbeat, that. No, my father was in my life, and I'm grateful for that. A lot of times when people separate, they let their differences get between them loving and raising their kids, right? I'm so grateful that the big man gave my mom some sense to be good-hearted, right?
Mm,
And so, she allowed, my father to be in our life. Although we were in different cities, towns, he was still in my life. And so, but he wasn't in my house, so there still was, some
yeah,
things
yeah.
that were missing. But there were great, amazing men in my community. I played sports as a young guy, and then I played 4 sports for 4 years in high school, and then played college football. But I was blessed to be around some great people that helped molded me, that I wanted to grow up to be like when I was a big boy. You know, and I'm just trying to take a little bit of all of that, a sprinkle of this, a pinch of that, a corner of this, put it together, and try to make them proud and be the best version of myself throughout my life. And so, there's been people that, I give you a sports analogy. Growing up, I played linebacker, and on defense, everybody's responsible for a gap, right? And so as a linebacker, if that hole opens up, you got to fill your gap,
Yeah.
right? And so, it takes things to be able to be in that place. You have to have learned some things. You have to have trained. You have to have some education or knowledge or awareness to fill that gap. And so what I've tried to do at that moment was fill the gap literally. But then
Right,
in
right.
college, I knew I had people depending on me. So I had to step up and do what I was supposed to do
Hmm.
to be successful. So I filled the gap there. And then into my career as an educator, just like you asking me the question about filling the void, the gap.
Yeah, yeah.
I've tried to be the gap filler in the lives of those kids that don't have that, right? And so that has been that whole circle of influence,
Sure.
that whole circle of impact, the impact of influence,
Right, right.
right? It's important to have that. And man, I'm grateful that I had people in my life to show me those things.
It's really good. Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles. Instagram is at Chip Baker TSC. On Twitter, it's at Chip Baker 19. Chip, why did you choose football over the other sports you played?
Because I wasn't good at any of the other ones. No, 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 seriously. I was decent at a couple, and then there was maybe one. I was like, well, I was out there, but I guess football was my thing. I really enjoyed it. I love the camaraderie, the teamwork. Um, it's a tough sport.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, it's like you have to love it to be able to do. Like, man, they trying to bash your head in, man.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
like it's a tough sport, but that tough sport teaches you life lessons and allows you to do tough things in life and be mentally tough in life, right? And they're transfer. There's been nothing in my life that's been tougher than some of those workouts that I've
Right.
been through as a football player. And so if I made it through that and I'm still alive, well, yeah, I'm okay.
Chip, talk to me a little bit about football, how they almost have specialist coaches. And I know other sports do, like baseball, you have a hitting coach, pitching coach. But for you, was it nice to have somebody else besides the head coach speaking into your life as far as working on that physical craft? Or would you have preferred just having more of a relationship with a head coach personally?
The good thing is where I grew up, I had all of that. I had great head coaches, high school, college as well. I had great assistant coaches that cared, that taught us great things. And so, like my head coaches in high school and in college, I'm still in contact with them today. You know what I'm saying? And so just great men, like I said, to be around, to learn from, to learn the game of life from. And again, I just have strived to return that by doing that in my life. And so, now I have kids that I've coached that have families, or,
Yeah, yeah.
I go to their weddings, or, those kind of things. And coach, I need you to be there, okay, I'm on the way,
Yeah.
opening businesses and those kind of things. And so it's a great situation to be in. And I really call it, I think I'm blessed to be a blessing.
That's for sure. And Chip Baker making some time. The Success Chronicles. You can find more information, whether it's Apple iTunes or on his YouTube channel as well. And I just want to make you aware that, and as you know, I'm a pastor, so this is going to be posted to our church page as well, hopeforvermont.org, hopeforvermont.org. But you've been able to be a part of a resource for Fellowship of Christian Athletes called Rock Solid. First of all, what does ROCK, ROCK, stand for?
It stands for Resource on Connecting the Kingdom. And so, just like you said, it's a resource. We're partnered with FCA. I'm a board member of FCA North Houston. So FCA is a great organization, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, that makes a difference in the life of so many kids, adults, couples. I mean, there's so many things that FCA does, faith-based, related to athletics, and you tie the two together, and it's just amazing. And so I'm a leader in our Man Zone class in my church, and my guy John Shibley, he's another leader as well. And we came together and we made these lessons. That's a resource to help people that are teaching faith-based principles.
That's great. To that, I say, go get it. Go get
Go
it. I
get
think
it, baby.
that's so good. Hey, so growing up kind of in the church
Yeah.
with your mom being actively involved with music, when did the faith became your own? And I ask this because my son's 19. He's doing well. He's in college now. My daughter's 17 and actually going to prom as a junior tonight, which has all sorts of concerns for myself. And they believe in God. They profess Jesus as Lord and Savior. But growing up is tough, and it can't just be because I'm their dad and I'm a pastor. For you, when did you say, okay, this God, Jesus, Bible, religion, I want it to be more about a relationship personally for myself?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because I think we all grow through our faith journey, right? I didn't say go through, I said grow through, right? And so, yes, growing up, I was drenched in faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, we had to be there all the time. So there was sometimes, oh, you gotta go to church. Like, I'm sure your kids may feel that, church again. We were just there all day yesterday in the same clothes, all day. Right. But it taught me some things. It taught me some disciplines. It taught me to be grounded. It gave me a moral compass. But and I'm gonna go down south with you. Mom and them can teach you some things, but we all have to have our own firsthand faith experience, right? And like you said, when you go out into the world, and you know the verse, teaching right won't go straight, the verse and all of that.
Right.
But we all have to go out and experience our own firsthand faith. And so I'll be honest with you. Like, I went to college, like I'm a college football player. Like, college is work, like to be a college football player, like it is football, like all day, every day. Right. And you're traveling and you're doing all of those things. You're getting back late, on a Saturday or early Sunday morning, fly, and so, you get into the rut, like, and then you're in college, basically, like, what? I don't have to go to church. You know,
Yeah.
all these years I've been made to go to church. I don't have to now. Oh, I'm good. You know, but then you see, for me, I felt, there was a void there. There was something missing. And so I connected with, a couple of my teammates. There were some people that I had some classes with, some good friends that were involved with organizations on the campus that were faith-based. And so I just kind of got involved with those, built from relationships.
Yeah.
And then, there was one guy, and we're still in contact, Brian Christian, I'll say his name. He's my guy. We both played linebacker. He's older than me. He was a mentor for me. He's a police officer now, a detective, actually, higher rank, but just a great guy. And so we made a pact, like, we're going to church every Sunday.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll take turns driving, we'll ride with each other. We're going to church every Sunday, and so regardless, getting in late, game, whatever, no, we're going to church every Sunday. And so that having the discipline to do that, when you have discipline to do things, it makes you feel so much better about it and gives you great pride. But then even better, you learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn to carry you throughout your life. And that's what it was for me and him as well.
Yeah, it's so good. And I think God gave it to me that all this talk about vulnerability, I think is tremendous. And I think we need to be vulnerable, but
Yeah.
without accountability, it doesn't really produce fruit. And just having a friend that can pull you up, whether it's to go work out or go to church
Yeah.
or read your Bible or just go do something together. It's just so important to have Christian brothers in your life. And I consider you one. And thanks, Chip, for making the time. With that said, I know that social media has become such a huge impactor on our culture.
Hmm.
I like to do things like this where we can, promote Jesus, goodness, friendship, teammates as we walk through life. For you, with YouTube, Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles, being on Instagram, Apple iTunes, you're all over. What is your thoughts about culture and how we can impact it using our platform just to give a voice to it?
I don't know. I think that's a deep question for me. And the reason it's deep for me is because I wholeheartedly feel that we all can make an impact of some
Yeah.
type,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from, I don't care what you've grown through. Um, we're all a one of one, right? Like, the big man made us all a one of one. So there's no one else like Pastor Jeff. Like there's no one else in the world like Chip Baker, which is probably a good thing. No, but the thing about that is, like, we're all unique. Like, there's beauty in so we all have value, and we all. Well, hold on, man. I'm gonna go back. Let me go Vacation Bible School on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
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 Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight.
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
loves the little children of the world. Come on, man.
For sure.
So we're all, precious in His sight. We all have value, and so we just have to remember that. And so, getting into, like, the social and the media and all, I think it's our responsibility to provide positivity, to provide impact, to inspire, to motivate. And the beauty of it is, and this is good right here. So, like it gives me, I ain't even said it, but it gives me chills, right? So the beauty of it is, like, you, me, you, yes, you, okay, you are able to make a positive difference in the life of someone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, so, like, when we all realize that, like me, like little old me, like, wait, I grew up with my parents divorced. Yeah, you, like,
Right.
wait, we didn't hardly have it. Yeah, you, like, you can make a positive difference in the world, because guess what? There's other people in the world that has gone through broken families. Like, there's other people in the world that have gone through, all of those trials and tribulations that, we've gone through as a family. Now I can share those things and help them be better in their life, because all of the things we go through, like, at the time, we think it's just us,
Right.
right?
Right.
But it's not. Like, it's a whole lot of people that go through so many tough things, right? And when you can, like you said, be with people, be around people that can help support show you, guide you, lead you and guide you, it's a blessing.
Well, Chip, I love you saying that. And something that we spoke about off air the other day was how um, Black lives do matter. And this is Asian History Month. And so
Yeah.
Asian lives matter. But as you just shared, it is so important that instead of whatever month it is, we take a stand every day to take a stand and try to build relationships with one another and invest in each other. For you, specifically this past year and a half, how have you tried to use, I say this respectfully, but your Black voice to communicate that we simply are people sharing love with one another?
Well, for me, I think if I remember correctly, I think this is what I told you. Do you love me? I love you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't care who you are. Like for me, that's where it starts and ends. Like it
Right.
starts with the heart. Like, do you have a pure heart? Do you have pure intentions? I rock with that all day,
Yeah.
whatever color you are. You know,
So
and
good.
so for me, that's how I move. That's how I operate. I was raised to just show love. You know,
Hmm.
now once you show me who you are, I believe you.
Yeah.
you know, and so, but I think if we can all start from that place, I think we're all. You really don't want to make assumptions, but I think we can all assume that we're all broken, and none of
Right.
us are perfect, and we all make mistakes, right? And I think if we can all start from that place and seek for understanding, and then appreciate the differences,
Right.
because
Right.
there's beauty in our differences.
Yes.
The whole college experience. I love that environment. Like you're all in a place where you're not in the place where you were raised.
Right.
You know, everybody is different. It's the best of the best. Um, you're all broke, just struggling to make it. But the people that rise to the top in those environments are the people that are open for growth, the people that show love, the people that are striving to meet people and learn from those people, regardless of what your skin tone looks like, you know. And
Yeah.
so I think the people that rise to the top and are able to do great things are ones that can do all of those things I talked about. And that's what it is for me. It's a deep thing. Like that's a deep conversation,
Yeah.
you know, because there's lots of layers to it that need to be peeled
Right.
back. But I think the beauty of it is now I think we've made some steps forward. We still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But I think we've made some steps forward. So now, people are aware. And like me as a Black guy, like I know those things have been happening forever. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like,
Right.
like now it's out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
literally, like really, like those things have been happening for a long time.
Yeah.
And so now it's the good thing is that everyone is aware.
Sure.
And so people that would normally not speak up about those things are angry about it
Right.
and are speaking up. But then also people that know that those things are happening, have happened in the past, has a voice to speak up and say, hey, no more.
That's so good. The name of the book, the latest book, is The Impact of Influence, and Chip Baker makes up time. You can also find the rock solid resource here at his website. And Chip, we'll get you out in a little bit, but I just appreciate your time so much. For yourself, how do you continue to grow each day? Are you a reader? Do you listen to books on tape? Do you just watch and observe? How do you learn, or where does that hunger for knowledge and wisdom come from?
The hunger comes from, I know that I have people depending on me,
Hmm.
right? And, I guess that whole athlete mentality, it pushes me to be the best version of myself and go get it every day because I got folks depending on me. And if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, then my family don't eat.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's unacceptable for my family not to eat,
right,
right?
right.
And so I think that's where the hunger and passion and drive comes from. But the ways that I learn is, I think the big man is really giving me a keen sense of awareness.
Yeah.
I was talking to my son about this yesterday. And a lot of times, some people, you get around some people, they get nervous and antsy. They have nervous talk, like just
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah.
just to
Oh,
talk. Like, hey, man, be quiet, like just nervous talk. Uh, but I think the big man has given me, and through my athletic experience, I think as well, to give me experience to just like, I'm really, not a super extroverted person. I'm really an introvert. I like to just observe things. And I'm okay with not having attention. I don't need all of that. I'm just chilling,
yeah.
doing my thing. But it's a beast in there too, you know. And so I observe the scene so then I can see where I need to fit in and make things be the glue, right? And so the ability to have awareness allows you to just get still, observe the scene, see what's going on. And that's how you learn. You pick up on those clues, right? You use your senses, your sight, your smell, your hearing, like, oh, and so I think for me, that's one avenue. But yes, I'm a reader. Um, in my life, these last few years, it's been super crazy. So I'm more of an audiobook
Yeah.
listener
Right.
as
Right.
a reader. And I try to sneak that in or a podcast in, on my drive or something like that on my workout. But always to learn, I'm for it. I think, once you stop your feet, you're beat.
Chip, what makes a good coach?
Mm, I think the same thing that makes a good person,
Hmm.
love.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you love your craft, when you love the people that you're around, when you love what you do, uh, I think great things come from that.
No, I think that's wonderful. If you could just give me a story or two of somebody that maybe you coached or you taught, and you didn't really think you made a difference, but later on, God gave you that reminder that, wow, even when you didn't think you made a difference, you made a huge impact.
Oh, that makes me smile. Uh, I think, well, I'll start with saying this. Um, when I started in my career, my goal was to just help one.
Hmm.
Like I felt that if when I retired from my career, if I helped one kid make a difference in their life or person, then I would be accomplished, right? But then I got into my career and I saw that early, like within the first month, I had already done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, right? And so like it lit that fire underneath me because like now you really see like man, the things that I've learned or grown through, like I can take those things. It's been some good stuff
Yeah.
those people have taught me, So now I can use those things that I learned to help others. And so I'll tell you one story. There was a guy, he called me probably about a year and a half ago. And he was one of my kids that I coached in powerlifting. Uh, he was a little, I had to keep my eyes on him. I'll just say that. Uh, but uh, fast forward, now he's a pastor,
Hmm.
right? And then let me go back. But when he was in high school, he was one of my top powerlifters, hardworking, just needed some guidance. All I knew is love. Showed him
Hmm.
love every day, taught him some lessons. I knew sometimes he had a frown on his face. I say, hey, looking good. Come here, let me hug you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, coach, like,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
no,
Right.
man, come here, I'm gonna hug you. You
Yeah.
know, anytime he would go left, I wouldn't even say, hey, come here. I just put my hands out. And he just laughed, right? And so um, he called me about a year and a half ago and he said, Coach, I wanted to really tell you, thank you so much for being that person that you were. You didn't notice at the time, but I was really going through some things that I didn't understand, like with my family at the house. Um, uh, and so he said, you showing me love and just being there for me meant the world to me. And it's really allowed me to be the person that I am today. Right. And so, and he's one of the ones too that, hey, calls me up out the blue, all of getting married, and my kid is this, like
Yeah.
all of those things. And so all I knew is I was going to work every day, giving them kids everything I had to give.
Right.
That's
Right.
all I knew,
Yeah.
right? what I didn't know is it would cause generational positivity
Right.
and make an impact for not just that kid, but make an impact for his family. And it warms my heart. It fills my heart to just even think about that, because I gave them kids everything I had. Like every day I left that place, I didn't leave anything in the tank.
Right.
I gave them I was exhausted every day, right? And I'm proud of that. Like I can look back on it and have no regrets, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, I was intentional about showing up to that place. I eliminated distractions. I didn't let anything deter me from being about my business with those kids, and so it's been good.
Well, that is The Impact of Influence, and that's the title of your latest book. On Instagram, it's Chip Baker TSC. Twitter, it's Chip Baker 19. Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles is where you can find all this information. And if you want to jump to his website, it's right here on my YouTube channel, Jay Fuller Interviews. Jay Fuller Interviews. You can find that right there. And before we let you go and say, go get after your Saturday, Chip, if you could give some advice to not a student, but somebody that's grown up and they want to coach, but they fear not being able to make the difference or the impact you have made, what would you tell that person?
You can do it. Yes, you can. Growing up, I was around this person that whenever I had doubts, that person would just say, you can do it. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And so anytime I had tough challenges, first, when I would ask for advice, the person would say, first, pray about it, baby. But then the next thing was, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And so that person was my mother, right? And she's since passed. She passed during COVID, not the COVID complications, but she passed. But I always reflect on that. And so I would say that to the person, whoever you are, whatever challenge you're going through, the big man put you there for a reason. So learn the lessons, take the blessings from the lessons, right? Use those to help you make a positive impact on our world. And hey, you can do it. Yes, you can.
That's so good. Chip Baker, we'll get you out on this. It's a fun question. Hopefully it's a stolen question. I stole it from Hernando Planos. He's a basketball coach. He's out west now. Great guy. But he always asks if, or I guess when, in your case, when the feature film is made about your life, who plays you in that feature film?
Oh, wow.
So while you think about that, I'll give you mine because we look so much alike, and that's tongue in cheek. But I always say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
To which I met with Jeff, maybe Kevin Hart, but not Dwayne Johnson. But that's I would go with either of those two for myself. But who say you? Who plays you in that feature film about your life?
Oh man, that's a really good question. I love that. I don't know. Maybe my son.
There you go.
I would hope that. I hope that my son sees all that I put into what I do, because I know it's making an impact on the world. But then it's also teaching him what I want him to be like by my actions.
Yeah.
Right. And so I hope that possibly it would be my son and he wouldn't have to do any preparing because he knows.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles is where you can find him. Chip, we wish you all the best. Let's keep in touch, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Pastor Jeff, and go get it.
Yeah, go get it. And again, thanks so much for making the time. Jay Fuller Interviews on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Jay Fuller Interviews. And now Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, the Backfire Podcast with Jeff Fuller of Jay Fuller Interviews. And make that time to listen to someone's story, to learn and unlearn what you thought was right, to relearn what is right. Let's experience life together. And people respond to love. So let's truly love one another in word and deed.